I was asked to sing in front of, it was thousands of people. And I was standing there and all
Is
the
that meeting you
lights.
told me about?
It's the meeting I
okay,
told you
okay,
about.
yeah.
And all the lights, and I was singing one of my favorite songs, Amazing Grace.
Grace, yes.
That
I still
song,
get
yeah,
goosebumps.
yeah, even me.
Yeah,
Because
you
that
told me
song
about it.
speaks to, I know everybody knows it, but this song really, when I say Amazing Grace saved my life. When I say that, Carol, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It is true.
Yes.
And it's so true, I would be dead now. This is how true it is. So when I sing Amazing Grace, I really, really mean it. Amazing Grace really saved me. And I was singing that song. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound.
So that is your idea of heaven.
That's my idea of heaven.
Wow.
Sitting and singing, and everybody just joins in. There is no preamble. There is no, we don't talk about it. We just sing. This is how, since I was a small child, every time I thought about heaven, how heaven would look for me, it will be all of us singing. And with that echo of thousands of people singing.
Hello and welcome to another episode of your favorite Conversations Far From Home Diaspora Conversations podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for consuming our content. Thank you for all your comments. And sometimes we laugh, sometimes it's just nice reading from you, and we are seeing you sharing. And to the new subscribers, welcome to this family of Diaspora Conversations. My name is Carol Millenbrock, your host, and the other host,
Wamboy. And I also really, really appreciate you.
Yeah, we are so excited about these topics. Just we've had some deep conversations, and now this is just a lighter, those things we just have for fun without, sometimes you also have to have these things where there's no intention of teaching. It's just a light conversation. What are we talking about today, Wamboy?
Today we have a very, very interesting topic. We want to talk about our pinch me moments. And because like Carol said, we have many deep conversations. And in these deep conversations, of course, we talk a lot about problems and how we're navigating problems with being here, problems with money, problem with visa. It's a lot of problems. And sometimes we forget that some pretty great things have happened to us. Some pretty amazing things.
Yeah.
And Carol called them pinch me moments. And I really like that. I like the pinch me, because you're in that situation and you're like, somebody pinch me.
Yeah, somebody pinch me.
Yes.
Because I cannot believe it's
I
me
cannot
now
believe.
in this situation, in this
Is this
experience.
really me?
Is it me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did I get here?
Exactly.
How did I become this person who gets to experience this?
Yeah.
And we want to go through this because Carol and I have really embraced the culture of gratitude. And we talk a lot about gratitude, and it has definitely changed my life.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
Mine too. Yeah.
Keeping a gratitude journal and just looking at what is working, because it doesn't matter where you are today, how rough things are, something is always working.
There's always something.
There's always something to be grateful for.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere that you might think people are happy because then that's why they are grateful. But it's the other way around.
When you're grateful,
you are happy. It's not when you have things then, or when you're happy, that's when you are grateful. It's the other way around.
Yeah, that's very true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so this is what we want to talk about. And as usual, we encourage you to also think back as you listen to us. Think about your pinch me moments.
Yeah.
When were those moments where you sat down and you were like, somebody please pinch me.
Pinch me.
Yeah.
Wake me
up
from this dream, because this is like a dream. Yeah.
So Carol, shall we start with you? Tell us one of your pinch me moments. I know you have a lot.
I have a lot, but one that I can never forget is the experience of my kids, my husband, and me riding bikes along the river. I had carried this dream for so many years. For so many years. Because of a movie I saw. I think I've told that story. A movie I saw when I was 12 of a family, father, kids, and mother behind along a river riding bikes. And I held on to that dream. I said, dear God, at one point in my life, I want to do this. And remember, I don't know if you know about us, if you're listening this episode for the first time or this podcast, I come from a very poor family and Wamboi the same. So riding bikes was not something we were doing. It was not in our normal way of doing things. If there was a bicycle in the family, it was a means of transport, taking things from A to B. It was an old black mamba bicycle that the uncle or the big brothers were just, going to fetch water with. It was never a way of, In that moment, I think my son he started very early, riding bicycles very early. And this moment did not come when I was riding bikes with my daughter and carrying my son behind. It was not there. It was that moment when my husband was in front, my daughter, my son, and me. I cried for 2 hours straight. Joyful tears. I could not believe, I feel tears now. I could not believe it was me experiencing that moment. That was definitely a pinch me moment where this is still the dream. This is still the thing I was dreaming about. But it was here now. And it was in front of me. And I was so grateful. I was so, so, so grateful.
It had come to pass.
Yeah.
Wow. That is so beautiful.
That is always on, will remain for the rest of my life on the top of the list. Yeah.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah. Tell us about yours.
Oh, I have had also so many, many, many pinch me moments. And my pinch me moments mostly revolve around music and studies.
Okay.
And I think my very first pinch me moment was when I got the letter of acceptance to go to the University of Cologne. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe this was me having been accepted. And I had been accepted in many universities. But I think the whole time I thought I couldn't. I don't know. And maybe for someone to understand, I also come from a very poor background. And how I remember school life for me in Kenya was I used to go to school and then I would be sent back home because there was no school fees. And then I would stay home. Then I would go back to school, and then I would go back home. And I was always very clever. And at some point, a woman came and picked me from that school and took me to her school. This is actually how I managed to finish primary school. We could not afford primary school. This is how poor we were back then. It was, for me, it was not a given that I could have finished primary school. It was a miracle that I finished primary school. And then this woman went ahead and paid for high school for me.
Wow.
So for me, education has always been such a privilege. And so even coming to Germany, I knew somewhere in my mind, somehow I want to study, but I never thought I can actually do it. I never thought it can actually happen. And holding this normally is a big letter of admission. My God, I was looking at that and reading it and looking at it, and it had my name on it.
Wow.
It was amazing. And being accepted in such a prestigious university, it was like, my God, I can actually say this is where I study. And I remember even when I wrote that on Facebook.
Wow.
I rarely write such things on Facebook. But on that one, I was like,
Yeah.
I have been admitted to the University of Cologne.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a big one
That's
for me.
a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I'm trying to think which one I can put now second. Definitely the first time I was interviewed.
Oh, yeah.
Here in Germany. So I have for as long as I can remember, I have always spoken to the mirror. You know, I was having conversations with the mirror. I was doing interviews on, you know, I have been talking all my life to the mirror. So on this mirror, I was 6, 7, and I was doing interviews. Like I was imagining I'm talking to somebody and somebody's answering back. Sometimes the mirror was my friend when I was going through things at home. And, you know, I didn't have a friend to talk to. I would talk to that mirror. That mirror was the mother I wanted to have, the sister I wanted. It was everything. My mirror was everything. It was the interviewer. It was the interviewee. So I was always having these conversations with the mirror. And I had always believed, you know, that belief you have in you, that at some point in my life, I didn't know how, I didn't know for what, I didn't know. I had no idea. And that we are talking about in a ghetto. We were in Nanyuki, in Majengo. So we were living in one room. And my mother had a wardrobe with a long mirror. And that is where I was sitting in front of that mirror and speaking to that mirror. So I had no idea, because I had not even seen, we did not even have a television. I did not even know what an interview is. But I was talking to that mirror. So when I was interviewed here in Germany for the first time for my work, because that time after doing my apprenticeship, I was the first in that year. So it was even in the newspaper, and you know, I had 2 children. My boy was so young, and I sat there and I was like, somebody please pinch me, somebody pinch me, somebody wake me out of this dream. It's really happening. Somebody is interviewing me now. It was that moment. That moment.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And it went on. Then the next, because it's somehow related. Then I was on German television, which was a milestone.
That is big,
It
guys.
was big.
Yeah.
But what felt even bigger for me is being on Kenyan television.
Yeah, daring abroad. That was
was not
awesome.
daring abroad. It was KTN.
Not this
KTN.
story.
That time I started dancing in the kitchen. Yeah, and
the
they did my
Corona
story
time.
about yes,
Yes,
and they
I
did
remember.
my story about that. And that was always something I wanted to do, to be on Kenyan television.
Yeah.
And even that one of being in German television did not have that weight, because it was my people seeing me in Kenya, you know, being, that was a big one.
Yeah.
That was also a pinch me moment. And then BBC came, and then, you know, more German and more. But that one of KTN, Frida Mwaka, thank you so much. You made, you know, that history book tick for me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
It
I almost
is.
forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Crazy. Yeah. Me, another one. I think when I think about music, the one pinch me moment I had was when I sang in a hall. Actually, it's actually two. The very first one was, I remember I always loved musicals. And at some point I told God I would like to do some musical. I don't know how, but somehow just the idea of telling a story with music, I just thought I would enjoy that immensely. And then Caro, I think it was 1 or 2 weeks later, I was dancing. I go dancing. I love dancing a lot. So I was there dancing, and then a woman comes to me and asks me, "Would you like to sing in a musical?" I did not know her. I did not apply for it.
Wow.
I did not even look for it. I had sung a birthday song for something. Very short, singing period. I think less than 1 minute. And she came to me and told me, "We're looking for a young black woman who can sing in a musical. Are you interested?"
Wow.
And I said yes. And it started a whole phase for me of really doing musical music. And
Wow.
it was actually a a long while. I think almost 6 months or almost a year. I did practice with them. We had concerts. People came, and
Wow.
it was just really really amazing.
Mm,
And the other
mm,
one was when again I was asked to sing in front of it was thousands of people,
mm,
and I
mm,
was standing there, and
mm.
all
Is
the
that meeting you
lights.
told me about?
It's the meeting
Yeah,
I
okay,
told you
okay, yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and all the lights, and I was singing one of my favorite songs, Amazing
Amazing
Grace.
grace, yes.
That
Oh, I still
song,
get
yeah,
goosebumps.
yeah,
Yeah,
even me,
yeah,
because
because you
that
told me
song
about it.
speaks to, I know everybody
Mm,
knows it, but this song really, when I say
mm,
Amazing Grace saved my life.
mm.
When I say that, Carol, you know what I mean?
Yes,
It is
yes,
true. And
yes.
it's so true, I would be dead now. This is
Mm,
how true it is. So when
mm.
I sing Amazing Grace, I really, really mean it. Amazing Grace really saved me. And I was singing that song.
Amazing
Sing
grace,
grace,
how
how
sweet
sweet the sound. I can't sing it now because I think I'll start to cry.
No, we are not crying. We just want to be grateful.
We just want to be grateful.
Yes,
And
yes.
when I was singing, now people started singing.
Singing with you.
And there was no music, there was
Oh,
no
I'm feeling
guitar,
tears.
there was
Yeah.
nothing.
It was just your
It was
voice and
just
then everybody joining
pure
in.
music with
Mm.
echo. And whenever I think about heaven,
That is your idea of heaven.
that's my idea of heaven.
Wow.
Sitting and singing, and everybody just joins
Joining
in.
in.
There is no preamble, there is no, we don't talk about it, we
Wow.
just sing. This is how, since I was a small child, every time I thought about heaven, how heaven would look for me,
It
it will be
is.
all of us singing. And with that echo of thousands of people singing,
Wow.
and in that moment, I was looking, even right now, I'm shaking. You see, I'm shaking.
Yeah, yeah.
I could not stop shaking.
Wow.
It was
A powerful
such a
moment.
powerful moment for me. And I didn't get money for it, I didn't get anything for it.
But it
But to
gave you
this day,
everything. Yeah.
it remains to be one of the most purest moments of joy I've ever
Wow.
had.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now it's me crying. Now
Yeah.
it's wow.
It's
That's
it was
that's amazing.
yeah.
And I was so happy for you when you told me that because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could feel your joy.
Yeah.
I that moment, that's a powerful. And you saying that, it's like heaven, you know,
Yes.
how
That
you
is
imagine
my idea
heaven.
of heaven.
So you have lived in your heaven. You have
I have
experienced a
experienced
heaven
heaven.
moment.
Yeah. It is,
Wow.
yes.
Wow.
I have experienced heaven. That was heaven for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Here's a quick one to tell you about our sponsors, TDX Media. I've been working with TDX Media for about 5 years now, and this has saved my life, literally saved my life. TDX Media has a way of helping you to optimize your office work. So I am a very chaotic person. My office was looking like you can imagine it. And then TDX Media came and they really helped me to optimize the processes, especially the processes of how I work, what should happen when, they came and advised me. They came and sorted out most of, most of my files and all that because I am not that. And then my website, it's beautiful because it is being maintained, it is being serviced by TDX Media. And then the CEO of the company, Christian Tiedemann, who does all that, comes to you, advises you, he talks to you, he listens to your needs, and then crafts everything according to how you need it, but adding his professionalism in everything that he does, such that at the end of it all, and he will not use anything he doesn't think is okay for the person visiting your website. So if your photos are not good enough, then he'll not put them in. And that is the level of professionalism that I need when I'm working with someone, so that they just don't do everything I tell them to do. They tell me, okay, it's your website, but it has my name on it. So he will not do anything that is not professional enough. And the other thing is event management. Guys, These guys are so organized. TDX Media is so organized. They have taken control and over. They organize our African festival, which happens every year. So I have nothing to do with it. The first year I organized it myself. I almost went crazy. And nowadays I just get calls, or when we're talking, it's a yes, no, no, and I have nothing to do with it. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. I love working with these people. I love the way they, present themselves in a way that is, I will talk about professionalism the whole time, because that is what they are. They are professionals. And you see that in everything they do. When they're doing consultations with you, they are very specific in everything that they're doing. You can only be satisfied when you're working with TDX Media. And I'm so glad that have trusted us now to sponsor our podcast. And I've been working with them all this time, satisfied with their work. I'll continue working with them. So please visit their website, www.tdx.de. That's www.tiedex.de. Visit them, because you'll be doing yourself a favor. Thank you so much. Wow.
Oh my God.
This is heavy. I thought we said it's a light conversation. We said it's supposed to be light. And
Jesus.
yeah, but these are tears of joy.
Yes.
These are tears of joy. We are just so grateful. So
Yeah.
grateful.
Yeah.
And the song we were singing just before we started this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That is a song that I sing, I put on when I just want to be grateful.
Mm-hmm.
When I just want tears of joy to flow, I put on. And every time I sing and listen to that song, tears start flowing. Yeah. So the other pinch me moment for me, I remember my sister Diana and me always talk about these moments where you ask, we stole that from Trevor Noah, where is my history teacher? Because this is a history moment. I want my history teacher to know that this happened to me, so that she can include that in her history books.
Yes.
No, but so one was when I took my mother to Hilton Hotel. Since I was little, since I don't know for how long, I have had my mother talking about Hilton Hotel, and she was talking about Hilton Hotel as this place that is not our place, this place that is for white people, this place is that is for rich people. Just, those things you talk about, like you just talk about. You don't even imagine being there.
Yeah.
It has never even crossed your mind that you can
That you can be that.
That you can be. So that is how we saw Hilton Hotel. This tall building, it was just sitting majestically there.
Yes.
The colonial time when only whites were going there, and it was so highly seen. Nowadays there are more, other hotels that are much bigger, much more expensive than Hilton. But that time it was Hilton. And I came from here and I took my mother to go have breakfast in Hilton. Wow. And I stood there with her. It was also with my sister and my brother. And I just stood outside there. And I was like, oh my God. My mother is gonna go to Hilton Hotel now. We are going into Hilton, not to go and clean, not to go and visit somebody, we are going there as guests.
Not to go and ask
and ask for a job. It's us now as a family going inside Hilton to eat there as guests. That was a moment.
Yeah.
That was a moment for me.
Yeah.
It was just, I feel goosebumps even today. I cannot speak for her, how her experience was, or if it meant anything to her. I don't know. I did not even ask because I did not want to make that experience for me any less. Maybe get angry if she did not react in a way that I expected her to react. I just wanted that moment to be special for me. And it was. It was.
Yeah.
I don't know how it was for her. I never asked her. We didn't talk about it because like we were talking about in another conversation, these things are given when you're coming from abroad, you know.
If you're in abroad, then
Yeah. So this is a normal.
Hilton means nothing.
Hilton means nothing. And so when you're taking people there, I don't know if there's that magnitude of appreciation that would have had if I was in Kenya. So you have the money, you have, you know, you're just like these white people who come here. So, but for me, it was just a powerful moment.
Yeah.
I still see myself standing in front of Hilton, and up to that point I had been to other big hotels, but being with her there, it was a big one.
It's the meaning of that moment together.
Me being able to give her that what she thought was never possible for her.
Wow, that is just amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah. Oh boy. Anything else? I'll talk about the other one because it's also a big one. But let us hear from you first.
Let me think about another one. Oh, another big one for me was when I told you my big moments are education, music. These are my two passions in life. And another big one was when my professor asked me to write a PhD. Or asked me if I would be interested in writing a PhD. Now, guys, for me, writing a PhD was always like the greatest achievement. Every part, like my role models were people like Professor Wangari Maathai, you know, and I always imagined like if you can become like Professor Wangari Maathai, then you've made it. When I was young, I know when people are young, they imagine their weddings, they imagine carrying babies. But my mom tells me, I used to look at the newspaper and tell her, and point to Wangari Maathai and tell her, I want to be like her.
Wow.
She was, for me, she was the highest form of being you can become. You know, this powerful woman who knows what she wants, who teaches, who has this title in front of her name, Professor Dr. Wangari Maathai. And so when the professor asked me if I would be interested in writing a PhD, oh my God, I felt, I don't know. For me, that was one of the biggest moments as well. I did not write the PhD because of visa issues, actually.
Oh my God. These visa issues.
These visa issues. This is another conversation that we had before. And I've not closed the door of a PhD yet, but I'm no longer in that space where I have to write a PhD to become worthy.
Yeah.
But during that moment, I think because education meant so much to me, education really was the key for me. I know in another conversation I've said education doesn't have to be the key for everyone.
But it was that time.
For me, it was. Even today, I know if I had not gone to uni and study, I would probably not like my life.
Yeah, because of this self-worth that it gives you, it has given you.
Yeah. And I had always attached myself to intelligence with intelligence. I had always attached my worth with being clever. So me being asked to write a PhD was like being told, yes, you're good enough.
Oh, wow.
You can do this. And I was so proud of myself. And before that, I had gotten my master. No, that was even after that.
Okay.
When I finished writing my master thesis, I got my master results, and my master thesis was a 1-0.
Oh yes, that's A plus.
That's the A plus, the highest grade you can have.
Yeah.
And I remember I sent it to Carol immediately. I sent it to Carol.
You send it like immediately. You
Carol, look at this.
Look at it. Yes, I just went on my knees. I was so, so happy for you. I felt so proud. As if I had contributed to anything.
Yes, you had. You had.
Felt so
with
proud.
Encouragements. I was, my God. And you know, guys, what I did after that? I sent a message to my professor and asked her, are you sure? Because I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
I couldn't believe that I had gotten a 1.0. So I wrote her and asked her, are you sure?
Did you make a mistake?
Did I really I couldn't, and it took me a very, very long time to accept that I was not given this grade out of merit, that I worked for it. It's crazy. But it was almost impossible for me to accept it for myself. I thought maybe she was just being nice.
Just goes back to self-worth and what
So-
and that will be a whole new conversation. Oh boy, we have to do this conversation about self-worth and how
Self-worth.
you
I
we
have
to
really struggled with that.
yeah until recently actually.
Even today, sometimes
there's still things,
but there's still things that
has
will
gotten
happen.
much better.
Yes.
Much better.
There are some people who used to tell me I sit as if I'm waiting for the bus. But now this has changed. Yeah. Self-worth. My
self-worth.
God.
That is a topic for another day. We have to talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
But
So,
as for now, this moment of getting a master's degree in a language that I didn't know and being so good at it and being asked to write a PhD, for me, this was
pinch me moment.
It was a pinch me moment. And it took me a very long time to accept that I could not write the PhD. It was, I struggled with that a lot emotionally.
Wow.
But now I'm good with it.
Wow.
I'm actually happy where I am. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm happy where I am.
If it comes, it's a bonus.
If it comes, it's a bonus, but it doesn't have to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So one last one. I think mine are not as heavy as yours, but they're still my pinch me. I am really, when we grew up in the Moi era.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Moi was this person, this person. You remember how you were when we had Moi was, passing along your school. You are all waiting outside singing, it was just crazy.
I never got to do that.
We did that a lot. And I was always in front, hearing Marinda for Moi,
And it's crazy because if Angela Merkel or even Scholl right now was walking,
we did not go to school almost the whole day waiting for Moi to just pass along the road.
Imagine that is so.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't want to step onto any toes, but
it's just crazy.
It is.
And so I was in Kenya with Mwangi. I still haven't told the story of Mwangi.
You still haven't told us the story of Mwangi.
So, but I was there and it was his birthday. And so I decided to treat him for lunch. And I went to a restaurant, a very nice restaurant. And I go out, it's beautiful. So we were just strolling outside, looking at the gardens, beautiful gardens, a beautiful place. I was feeling so good being there. But because I'm kind of used nowadays to, not used, but I've been to such places.
Yeah.
I was just appreciating the beauty of the place.
Yeah.
But it was not like beeindruckend, this, that's German now. It was like not such an
inspiring.
Yeah. It was a nice place, me appreciating the beauty. But then outside, there was somebody sitting there, and I look at him, and I think I know this guy somewhere. I think I know this guy. So he says hello in a very nice way, and I look at him twice. And then you know who that was? It was Gideon Moi. Moi's son.
You're walking on the same ground with Moi's son.
Yes.
How?
And even if that makes us look like we are belittling ourselves, we are not. I am not. But how we saw these people during that time.
Yeah.
It was like, next to gods.
Yes. That's how they were.
Yeah. So I am like, now, Bath, this is Gideon Moi. I am in the same grounds, the same restaurant. I'm going to sit at this table and eat the same food Gideon Moi is eating. It was like, and then I sit there just to confirm. I ask, is that Gideon Moi sitting outside? And they tell me, yeah, this is his restaurant.
Wow.
It was at the Lord Errol.
No idea.
And yeah, it's a very nice restaurant. The Lord, and the way I came to know about Lord Errol,
Mm.
I had seen Caroline Motoko talking about it,
Mm.
and you know, and I was like, I want to visit this place because it looks
If
so
Carol,
beautiful.
the
Yeah,
namesake is
Caroline
going.
Motoko is talking about it. Yeah, I'm like no. And the minute I had that, I was like, you mean now me? I am here. I am paying this guy, so I am his guest in his restaurant. You know that feeling of like, actually, it's me bringing him business now.
When did you become that person
When
who
did I?
brings Gideon
What?
Moy
How
business?
did I get here?
Yeah.
How did I get here?
Yeah.
It was such a moment of bath. Yeah, I'm sharing space now with Gideon Moy. Of course, I don't have his money and I don't. But
At that moment,
at
you're
that
in the same
moment,
space.
I was sharing space with him.
And it is big.
It is.
It is
And
huge.
it was, guys, let me talk about this. It was me taking Amzungu to dinner. It was me paying. So it was my money taking me to this restaurant, not him like you, many people think. It's the Mzungus who pay for us. No, it was me treating him to dinner.
Nice.
Yeah, that one.
Girl.
That one. I felt like, whoo! And I was tingisharing Marinda here for your father. Oh.
And now I'm bringing you cash.
Yes. Dollar, dollar. Pinch me moment.
Yeah.
Pinch me moment.
Love
How
it.
did I get here?
How did I get here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Let me
Yeah.
also think of a last one. I have so many. I think I'll pick the one that is definitely still remains a pinch me moment for me
Yeah.
is flying.
Ah, yes.
It's
that
really
one.
the first time I flew, I could not believe that I was flying. I told you I was so overwhelmed. I fell asleep.
Crazy. You have to listen to that episode. Was it the first episode? The first or the second?
First or second.
Yeah,
Definitely. But I was overwhelmed. I was
With
overwhelmed
emotions.
with emotions. Because people, when I tell you where I come from, do you know those things you don't dream about? Like right now, I would never dream about going to Mars because it's too big.
It's too big.
Why would I dream it? It's too far away. I wouldn't even pray to God to help me fly to Mars.
Yeah.
Because it was just not a given.
Yeah.
Carol, we used to live in a house where I was bitten by a rat. I've told this story before. I just noticed all of a sudden there was pain. And there's a toe there. Sometimes maybe you've seen it. It looks a bit funny. So whenever you see it, it was bitten by a rat. This is where I come from. I'm not ashamed of it. This is why I talk about it. I came from poverty. And even when I flew here, we were still poor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So me flying to
Being in an
Germany,
aeroplane,
being
yeah.
in an aeroplane, sitting there, feeling it rise above. Because now flying had been also the thing that we used to talk about.
And then
They flew.
Yeah.
They
It
flew
was
to
for other
whatever.
people.
It was for other people. It was
Yeah.
never for me. So every time the flight starts taking off, I always feel this feeling of, oh my God, I'm flying again. And by now I've flown so much,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
flown to Berlin, I've flown to Malta, flying has
Atlanta,
become
yeah,
normal.
Yeah.
But even when I was flying to Atlanta and now again crossing the Atlantic Ocean, also as a Black person, this is attached with so many emotions, so many of our ancestors had to go through the Atlantic Ocean on ships
Yeah.
as slaves. And this is me now above it.
Yeah.
And I was even talking to a
Choosing
friend.
to go there. Yeah.
Choosing. I'm
Yeah.
going there by choice. And a friend of mine, Jerry, is the one who was reminding me, do you know how many of our ancestors died along that? It was not always a given for us that we would fly over the Atlantic Ocean.
That's true.
By choice.
Yeah.
Going there because we want to. And then coming back also.
Yeah.
Flying to somewhere and choosing to fly back.
Yeah, to fly back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those for me, they are definitely pinch me moments when I sit down. And do you know what I've now had discovered, Carol? Because I told you I have a God box. Guys, I have a God box. This basically means that when I have a problem, that looks impossible to solve, I write it down and put it in my God box.
You
Now
taught me about that. Yeah.
it's really, guys, it's one of the best things. Really started, and now I've had a miracle box.
Oh, wow.
I've created a miracle box
Wow.
for those things that I pray for, and I
And
don't
they
even believe they will
happened.
happen.
Yeah.
And then it happens, and I'm like,
oh, wow.
what?
You've not told me about that. I'll get to that one.
It's
A
new.
miracle
It's
box.
very new. It's very new. And every time I look at it, and things happen. It's small
A
things
miracle
sometimes.
box.
A
Yeah.
miracle box. Like, how did I become this person who does this?
Yes.
I don't believe it. And so I write it down because I don't want my God to be the God who only solves my problem.
Yeah.
I also want to see those moments.
Gratitude.
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 I love gratitude.
That's
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we are so
So,
grateful for this life that
yeah.
we are living.
Yeah.
It's just a life I would never have imagined for myself.
Yeah. It's
Never.
extraordinary and
Never.
remarkable.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about
In
the word
so many ways.
remarkable, it means it's worth being remarked upon.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
yeah.
live a remarkable life.
Yeah.
I mean, look at me and you sitting here recording a podcast.
It's just there are so many moments.
There are so many
moments. I
moments. We
think we'll
can't-
do another one because now as we speak, I'm remembering other things.
Yeah.
But there's a lot. There's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
And what I want and try to remind myself is to be grateful all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And I had this guy, Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO, saying the same thing about flying the first time he flew. And these things become normal at some point,
Yes.
which is really a pity.
It's a pity.
Yeah. And that is what I always tell you about this television thing. I want it to excite me every time it happens. I
Yeah.
want to feel the excitement
Yeah.
in my body
Yeah.
of not taking it for granted, of knowing that this is God answering this prayer
Yeah.
once again
Yeah.
and once again
Yeah.
and once again. And I will not let it feel normal.
Yeah.
I will not. I refuse to make it feel normal for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May we never get over it.
Maybe yeah. Even when we are living this fantastic, life, let us always remember to be appreciative of these things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good one.
Thank you for this conversation.
Yeah, thank you too.
I feel so much joy.
And now I've come out with something. Miracle box.
Miracle box,
Yes,
guys.
I'll
Create
get that
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we doing the hot seat question today?
No. Oh, it's your turn. Of course we are doing it.
She had said no because she thought okay, let's get over it. I'm ready.
Yeah, but this time, because I'm feeling grateful, I will not punish you with a question. Simple, very simple question.
Getting this miracle box and put something in, saying one boy decided to be nice to me today.
So, Carol,
Yes.
we've talked a lot about gratitude.
Yes.
But if there's something you will change about yourself right now, if you were given a chance, change this. Is there something you will change about yourself?
Oh my God. Myself, as in my appearance, my situation, my what, everything,
Situation.
something.
Choose one. What would you change about your life?
Ooh, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep.
Choose the lightest. I'm giving you the choice of taking the lightest.
No, that one cannot be taken lightly. I think at different phases of my life, I've wanted to change many things. But then after some time, I realized that thing happened for a reason. And I wouldn't want to have had it any other way. So this is now teaching me to accept a lot of things just the way they are. Because I know it's lesson after lesson. I would want to change my situation now, but then I would be a very different person if I avoided all these things that I wanted to change. I would be a very different person. So these things have made me grow in very amazing ways. So, no.
Okay.
No.
That's a beautiful answer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Bye, guys.
Let's go and eat now.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Yeah. Yeah. And
See you next week. Subscribe now.
Now.
Go
like
ahead.
now. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And share. And tell us about your pinch me moments.
Yes,
That one.
definitely. Please,
Yeah.
guys, do let us know.
Bye-bye. See you next week.
Bye.